guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. We finally have the newest Cosmic Beauty palette. Tis the season palette. This is the Christmas palette that they created. I'm going to do 3 looks using this palette. I'm going to show you swatches. Look at the color story. It also has a mirror. Look at the color story. This looks so yummy. So yummy. I am very excited. I feel like obviously the palette looks amazing in pictures, but in person it looks so much prettier. I'm so excited for everything in this palette. Believe it or not, I'm also excited about the greens, okay? I absolutely love this palette. This is so beautiful. I am not an affiliate with the brand. Hopefully one day, because I really love their palettes. This palette, I feel like, is a standout in their collection. I'm so excited for this. If you're ready, let's begin. I love Cosmic Beauty brushes palettes because I feel like in the indie brand industry, this gives you the quality at affordable prices. This palette retails for $36 if you're here in the US. And look at the gorgeous color story. It has some mattes, it has some duochromes, some multi-chromes. These mattes are so buildable, so blendable. Let me show you the swatches on the screen because it definitely deserves its own glory. It is so sparkly, it's so shifty, it is amazing. And the mattes, it build on my hand so beautifully. These are like one swipe swatches and they are so opaque. I'm so excited for this palette in general. It is already available on their website if you do not know it already. I'll put all the links in the description box below for you guys. Now if you're ready, let's move on to the 3 looks that I created using this palette. Okay, I'm going to start off with my first look using the Tis the Season palette. I'm so inspired. Even looking at it, it brings me so much joy. I cannot wait. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to start off with the deepest shade. You know me, I have to dip into purples, but before that, let's dip into greens, right? Let's get that over with. I'm going to start off with Holly. This is the deepest green of the palette. I'm going to take that on the outer corners just because whenever it is like a deeper shade, I like to first blend it with that. But I just want to see how deep it is, how dark it is. I do have their previous Cool Trills and Neutrals palette, which is more like so everyday, and this is so fun. Like seriously, I've seen like so many videos on this palette already, but still when this came at my doorstep and I opened it, I was stunned. This looks amazing, absolutely amazing. So once we have that on the outer corner, now we're going to dip into a few purples for sure, and my eyes are drifting towards this shade, gifting this purple. So let's do that. I really hope that you cannot hear my kids because they're all playing in the backyard and it is right in front of a window where I'm filming. And I seriously hope it's not only my kids, it's their friends too. So it's a huge mess. Okay, so taking this gifting shade right there. Look at that purple. So pretty. As soon as I saw that purple, I was like, I have to use that shade. There's no questions asked. Of course, you can dip into this palette and just go row by row if you're getting overwhelmed. Like every row will give you such a beautiful look, but I am going to mix and match just to give you more inspiration. So this is going to be like our purple green look. I'm gonna go like with a lighter circular motions on the edges just to blend everything out. And if we want to deepen out that outer corner with that green, we can definitely do that. I'm so sorry that you can hear that chime. I know that you can hear it. It's my kids going in and out. Sorry. I don't even know how am I gonna record when these kids would be home this week for Christmas. But we'll get through it together, right? So here you go. That's that purple and green all meshed together. Now I'm going to take that garland shade, this deeper green, like a mid-tone green I would say, on my lower lash line. just right there. And then I'm going to take that purple gifting shade on the inner portion of the lower lash line. I want to get that purple close to the inner corner. That's why I'm doing that. Okay. Now, I'm going to dip into this shade, Party. And I'm going to take that in the inner corner. Right there. And melt it with that purple. That is such a beautiful shade. Oof, I love it. You know, I get so excited with my purples. This is so pretty. So pretty. I'm going to take a smaller blending brush with that Party shade. And I'm just going to go over the edges. Just over the extreme edges, just to blend everything out. I think that would create such a beautiful gradient. All across the eye, I would say. Now for the shimmers, I want to dip into 3 shades. Festive in the outer corners, then going into Baubles, and then going into Fairy Lights. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to start off with that festive shade, the green, the deeper green. I feel like that will melt so beautifully with that deeper green in the outer corners. So let's do that. Look at that shade. So pretty, you guys. But of course, the star of the show is going to be purple, so don't you worry. I saw the purples in this palette and I was like, what? This is so pretty. That's the green. I'm just going to go back into the deeper green matte and just blend the edges. Just so that the blend is smooth and there's no harsh lines between the shimmer and the matte. Just right there. A little bit of patting would just do the job. Okay, now let's take the shade Baubles, which is that pink, like a magenta pink to a purple shifting shade. Let's take that. Look how freaking stunning that is. Oh, I love it. And then I'm going to just melt it with each other. That is so pretty. That's so pretty. I love that. There you go. Now finally, I'm going to dip into that shade, which is Fairy Lights. This, I feel like you need its moment for itself, just because it's such a pretty shade. I'm going to take that in the inner part and then just flick it through and melt it with that purple. Look at that shade. I love those shades. You know me. You know me. That is so pretty. That is such a gorgeous shade. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my first eye look. I love a good purple and a green moment together, and this is giving it to me. I love the mixing and the matching of the shades. I love the way how these shades just melt into each other and gives us such a beautiful, unique look. I feel like this palette is so geniusly curated because these shades can melt in with each other so very well. I am so excited for this. Cannot wait to create my second look. So let's begin. Okay, let's move on to the second eye look. I definitely want to use that wine shade, which is that mulled wine. Oh my gosh, that's such a pretty shade. This one. What are we gonna, how about we use this mistletoe with mulled wine? I think that will be amazing. But of course, we need to use the oranges. Okay, I have a plan. Let's start off with mistletoe and mulled wine. I'm going to start with mulled wine this time on the outer corner. So let's do that. It's such a pretty wine shade. Very, very pretty. So I'm going to take that in the outer corner right there. And then blend it gently into the crease. Such a pretty shade, like a raspberry wine shade. Very, very pretty. I'm going to take a smaller brush and take the same shade on my lower lash line. There you go. Just on the outer corners. Now I'm going to take a more of a fluffier brush and dip into this shade Stalking, this hot pink shade, and blend the edges of that wine shade. And then I'm going to also take this shade Ribbon right underneath the brow bone, just to melt everything together and to get like a good gradient effect. That's very, very pretty. That's such a pale pink, I would say, with like, not even pink, I would say it's like a, yeah, like a pale pink purple kind of a shade. Very, very pretty. Okay, now let's take the shade, that green shade, Mistletoe, this one. You know how much I chicken out with these shades. Well, let's see. I feel like if you put like a white base underneath or like a lighter base, it would pop more. It is showing up on my skin, that's not a problem, but it's not showing true to the color in the pan, but still it's performing well. I can deal with this shade rather than being like that bright. I like that. I like that with that wine shade. So I'm just gonna lightly blend both of them together. They're very, very opposite in spectrum, so I'm just gonna gaze over it and just lightly mesh it. Because as soon as you melt that green and that wine shade, you will create like a little bit of an orange tint right in the center. So just don't overblend it, just a light blend would be good enough. I'm gonna take that hot chocolate shade, the deep dark brown shade, and I'm gonna take that right there in the outer corners, just to deepen it out a tad bit more. Yesterday's look, I wore the entire night. There was no creasing at all, and this shade Fairy Lights was so amazing. You have no idea. It's so pretty. Okay, let's move on to the shimmers now. Okay, I'm going to start off with this shade Cranberries. It is like a beautiful red, golden, green multichrome. I'm going to take that in the outer corner. Yesterday's look did not crease one bit, which is a huge plus point for me because I have a creasy eyelid. And if it creases, it is a little bit of a red flag for me. But this was so sparkly, very, very, it was just like the way I applied it towards even the end of the day. And I took that eye look out around like 11:30 at night. So it performed really, really well. I'm going back into that shade, Mulled Wine, and just tapping the edges. Again, that cranberry shade would go so well with these greens too because it has that green shift. Can you see that? It'll go so, so well. That's the main reason why I put it, because I have like a green in my inner corners too. So I think that would just enhance the look. I am going to take this shade Decorations next, the brighter green shade. And I'm going to just take that in the inner part of the lid and melt it with that cranberry shade. Okay, so that it easily melts into that green to red shifting shade, because it has that red has that green shift. I think it will melt really, really well, which I'm very, very impressed with. Okay, for the inner corner, I am going to take this shade Tinsel. It is like a pink with gold sparkles. I'm going to take that right there and just sweep it with that green. That's perfect. That is perfect. Okay, I am going to take that Stocking shade and just intensify the lower lash line along with that Mulled Wine shade. And then just to blend everything out, I am going to take a loose fluffy brush with the shade Ribbon and just blend everything out. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And that's my second eye look. I really love the way that green, it's such a mucky green, that green melts with that wine shade. It is such a pretty shade. I feel like there's so many combinations that can be made with this palette. I absolutely love the way how this turned out. Even though it's like a green look, I am truly feeling it. Now let's move on to the third eye look. Okay, let's start off with that cookie shade, the orange. In the pan, we'll see how deep it is. And that's pretty much like a crease shade, so that's good. I'm gonna take that lightly across the crease. That's such like a warm orangey brown shade. That's amazing. I like it. And then just to blend everything out, I am gonna take the shade which is ginger, which is like my skin tone shade, I would say, but that would help melt everything out so beautifully. So I'm just gonna take that, just blend the edges. Now I'm gonna take this shade, 'Tis the Season, this deep dark purple shade. I love a good pink, orange and a purple moment together. I actually love a green and a purple moment together too. Really like that. The first look that we did had that green and the purple effect. I was like, I have to mix orange and purple this time. And they were two different tones of purple. The first look had this purple. Now I'm using this 'Tis the Season shade. And I'm doing makeup and stuff like that, but my head has so many thoughts going up right now. I'm pretty sure you know about Brittany Ray Beauty. I'm sure you know about her. She's going through a tough time right now. And the day that you're seeing this video is when her surgery is scheduled. Do me a favor, pray for our little girl, and hopefully everything would be okay. Fingers crossed. I want everything removed and she being just happy and healthy. That is all that I want for this Christmas. Yeah, okay. Makeup is just like a outlet of just not thinking for a minute about those things, but we cannot help. My mind is off. My mind just wanders about her as soon as I'm not doing anything. But yeah, she'll be good. I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure, 100% sure that God will take care of her. Okay, I'm taking the same shade, 'Tis the Season, on the lower lash line. I want to cry. I don't want to cry. Okay. I'm taking this orange shade, Cookies, on the lower lash line. The purple here is not being as deep as I like for the outer corner, so I am gonna mix another shade, and this was the only time where I did a lighter shade first and then went with a deeper shade. I think that's the reason. If I would have gone with that purple first, I feel like I would have gotten more punchier purple, but that's okay. I just wanted to let you guys know there's no problem with the shade, but I feel like it totally would vary the look that you are achieving if you put like a lighter tone first and then deepen it out with a deeper tone, or if you want like a deeper look, start with a deeper shade and then blend it out with a lighter shade. I am gonna take that hot chocolate shade, the brown, and I'm just gonna take that. If you see patchiness here, it's just my problem. My eyes are watering. Okay, let's take this shade, Candlelight, which is that orangey shimmer shade. I'm gonna take that in the center of my eyelid. Right there. You can see how vibrant that shade is. I'm gonna take it on the majority of the eyelid. That's such a bright shade. I love that. Once we have that all across the crease, I am gonna take a flatter brush and I'm gonna take this shade Celebrate, this champagne-y shade. It is such a sparkly shade. When I swatched it, I was like, that is amazing. For everyday looks, that is gonna be so pretty. I'm gonna just mix it with that orange shade but this can transfer your look to more of like a cool tone look, a neutral look. I'm also going to take that on the inner corner of the eye. And now I'm going to take, let's take this shade Bubbles again, just to melt that purple with that deeper purple shade. I just want to shimmer to melt that orange and purple together, just so that it is seamless. Yeah, just like that. Going back into that Tis the Season shade and just tapping over the edges. Also taking that same shade on the lower lash line. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And that's my third and the final eye look. I love this eye look too. It is definitely much more neutral than the other look that I did, but also you can definitely go much more neutral with this eye look, especially if you melt that Celebrate shade, which is that champagne shade, with those cookie shade. If you stick to this row, I feel like you are gonna get such a beautiful everyday simple eye look. I really love the way how much you can do with this palette. The variety is really there. I have used every single shade in this palette and none of the shades gave me any trouble. That is the plus point about this palette. I really love the quality of the eyeshadow palette. If you love this color story, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. I feel like this is my favorite Cosmic Beauty palette that they have launched so far. I really love the variety of looks that can be created with this. I really love it. I know it is colorful, but you can definitely make it more muted. And I feel like my looks definitely, I have a hair in my mouth. Okay. My looks definitely was colorful, but I feel like it was wearable too. It was not that loud. I feel like you can definitely achieve those looks too. I really love this palette. I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Again, a small reminder, please do pray for Brittany. Just 2 seconds, that would be enough. That would mean the world to me. But that's all for today. Now let's move on to the outro. Once you've seen all the looks of this palette, you guys let me know, have you already purchased this palette or not? This palette is so pretty. It's available on their website the time that I'm filming it. And this looks perfect all year round, not only the Christmas season. I feel like I can definitely wear this row to office all day, every day. Even this tone of pinky purpley shade, it's a wine shade. So beautiful. And these shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. I'm so pleased with this palette. You guys let me know, are you interested in this palette? Have you already got this palette or are you putting it on your wish list? I love it. Absolutely love it. I hope this video was entertaining for you guys as well as a little bit of inspirational also. I really hope that I inspired you to create some different looks with this palette. But that's all for today. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.